Welcome to the Hot Cakes podcast. I am your host, Kid Bagheera, and this is brought to you by Black Ring Books. If you haven't copped that Ravenous, you need to do so ASAP. You can directly contact me and I'll mail it to you, or you can get it off Amazon. It's 306 pages of straight heat about black vampires. You know you need that in your life. Quit playing. Go get that. So, without further ado, with that being said, this is Cake 16, Detroit Lions. Let's go. So, recently, the Detroit Lions extended their QB1, Jared Goff. I don't know the exact amount, but it's the highest in their history. So obviously the question swirling around that is it worth it? Will it pay off? And you know, the real question is, as I pour up, you know, what is the expectation? Now, every team will tell you their expectation is to win. And that is a bunch of bullshit. We all know that is not every team's expectation. It's not even their goal. Look at the Cowboys. They're more focused on reality shows and docu-series and all this bullshit. They got one coming on Netflix. It's in the works. They've been on Hard Knocks how many times? It's 32 teams that ain't been around that long. Why do they have more than one season? All this American team bullshit, like that was back then, not now, not no more. You know what I mean? At a time, the Jets wasn't focused on winning. They was focused on stealing headlines from the Giants when the Giants were focused on winning, which is why they won two in 4 years. Every team's objective is not to win. It's a handful of teams whose objective is to win. And you can tell by the moves that they make. You look at the Chiefs, obviously. The 49ers, obviously. The Ravens. Even the Bills, even though they're not going to win, they do make moves that would suggest they are trying to win. The Browns, you do not give a motherfucker who has those type of allegations swirling around that kind of money. They're clearly focused on winning. And I'd say the Jets now are focused on winning. You don't go get that quarterback from, you know, his situation where he can have his pick of the litter, you know. So they are definitely trying to win. They have prioritized winning. They kept the team intact, got rid of Zach Wilson. They ready to go. If your mans don't get hurt this year, AFC look out. Except for the team to beat. All the rest of the teams look out. Because until the motherfucker knock him off, that's who I got winning. Point blank period. And I want to see Lamar win, but until he can do it, and he had the chance, hey, it just is what it is. Now, the Detroit Lions, they went out there and spent that money on Cub, right? Now, to me, they have prioritized winning. They got a coach. They let him grow with the team, build his culture, and now look at him. If I'm not mistaken, Dan was there 1 year before Jared got there, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. But with that being said, they have started to grow together. Now look, in what, Dan's 3rd year, maybe 4th year with the team, I'm not 100% sure, but they got all the way to the championship game. Now, just because you get to the championship game does not mean you're going to get back or to the Super Bowl next year. It does not mean that. However, with the amount of time that they gave Goff, I'm pretty sure he'll see the end of the contract if he doesn't get hurt. Now, me personally, I believe he got a raw deal in LA, meaning they could have still won the Super Bowl against the Bengals with him, right? I don't think Matt Stafford is that ahead of Goff, meaning Stafford isn't, 1 and Goff is like 25. I think they're like this. But everybody got y'all thinking they like this. And I don't believe that. Goff went to Super Bowl. Okay, he lost, but there's a lot that goes with that when playing the Patriots. We all know that. 9 times out of 10, no, fuck that. 10 times out of 10, they cheated. And on top of that, half of their offense wasn't there because Cooper Kupp didn't play. And they put half of their offense into one guy. And I'm being nice by saying half because we know that's all they want to do is just throw the fucking Kupp as if he's the only fucking receiver on the team. So if you take him away, oops, well, what are you going to do, right? So it wasn't entirely his fault. Like, you're playing a team that's going to cheat against you on top of not having, half your offense, if not more. So I would love to see that game where Cooper Kupp played and see what could happen. You know what I'm saying? They may still lose, but the defense held it down. They didn't score the touchdown till the end of the fucking game. By the way, that's more than likely the most boring Super Bowl in NFL history, in Super Bowl history. I didn't even watch it. I went to the movies, and I was just looking at updates on my phone. Like, that's how boring that shit was. And that also just to how much I hate the Patriots as well. But throughout all their Super Bowls that they was like back and forth, I was watching, obviously, to see if the other team could win. But that's neither here nor there. So like I said, the real questions are with Detroit and all of that is, what is the expectation? Obviously a Super Bowl, right? So with that being said, do I think Goff can get to and win a Super Bowl? I do. Obviously, they're going to have to draft well, do free agency well, and keep core players in core positions. As good as they were, I didn't really pay attention to like their roster, so I don't know who's there, who left, who this, who that, but I know they do got that one receiver. I think his number is 14. I'm not really sure. I know he was a Pro Bowler because when I watched the skills competition, he had on the Detroit hat, I believe, or either a Detroit jersey. I'm not sure. So I know he's still there, and it's going to take more than just them two. But the point is, they, as an organization, is going to have to move in the right way if they're going to do that, right? Now, the organization didn't give him this money and say, okay, you got to win the Super Bowl every year, because they know that's not happening. So if he gets one out of those years, then job well done, money well spent. You can go retire now. Or if you want to go play for another team, have at it. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You got the job done. So do I believe they can win one in the next 5? Absolutely. Will it happen? That will obviously remain to be seen. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that they can. He's obviously talented. He's been to a Super Bowl. What has he been to? 3 championship games? Or at least 2, obviously 2. So yeah, I definitely think that Detroit will win in the next 5 years. And I'm willing to bet money on that. Yeah. I have the courage of my conviction, and I am willing to put my money where my mouth is. And I will bet that Detroit will win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years, proving that they made the right decision in giving him this extension. Because if they didn't do it, obviously he's gonna go somewhere else and get the money, because they just throwing money out. Like, here you go, here you go, here you go. Shit is wild. And on top of that, they also save money, because if they did it now instead of waiting for him to be a free agent when the market was just going to keep climbing. So in the long run, we don't really know how much money they save, because let's just say hypothetically he wins this year. His price is going to go through the roof, because he's a Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback. Because you already know he's going to get the MVP, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? So for me, only thing I want to see from him this year coming up is, obviously, he stay healthy. And I need him to he has to win 11 games minimum and make it out of the first round of the playoffs. Make it out the first round of the playoffs, win 11 plus games, money well spent, because we're still heading in the right direction. Because to believe that he's going to get right back the next year, that is insanity. And with that being said,